chance to look at the briefing slides that are available on the web. But if you have them in front of you, that would be helpful. Otherwise, don't worry about it too much. I'll just kind of reiterate what they show. There is a moderate risk of severe thunderstorms for the day 1 period, which technically runs through 6 a.m. And that's an upgrade from the early morning outlook, which had a enhanced slight risk. So the Storm Prediction Center has upped our risk a notch up to moderate risk for almost our entire forecast area. And the time frame for that is mainly during the nighttime hours. Not looking at a whole lot going on this afternoon. As far as the tornado probabilities on the second slide, we do have a maximum of tornado probabilities centered right over the Ohio Valley, approximately from Louisville southwestward down across southeast Missouri. The hatched area is where the Storm Prediction Center is thinking there's a potential for EF2, EF5 tornadoes. So there is a potential for strong tornadoes in this event. And again, it seems to be maximized pretty much along the Ohio River and down into southeast Missouri. And once again, the time frame for that, mainly during the nighttime hours, it looks like instability and wind shear combination that we need will be at its peak during the overnight hours. Going on to wind probabilities on the next slide, there is definitely potential for damaging winds. We are expecting some supercell activity, which by their nature do produce damaging winds. But the tornado hazard's probably going to trump the damaging wind probabilities. Hail is definitely a concern. Hail probabilities are at a maximum across, again, the Ohio Valley northward. And the hatched area indicates the potential for larger than golf ball hail. So some of these supercells are likely going to be capable of some very large hail as well. A lot of the parameters that we look at for hail are very favorable, ideal for large hail tonight. So the hail and tornado threat are definitely among the highest we've seen in a while. Next slide, I throw in a couple of technical slides just to show you a little bit of the meteorology. Wind shear will be extremely high overnight. That graphic shows the what we call the 0 to 6 kilometer wind shear, which basically is just a measurement of the difference in wind from the surface up to about jet stream level. And some of the values there you can see are right around 80 knots across much of our region. And we usually are concerned when they get up to about 40 knots. So we have more than enough wind shear for supercell development tonight. And along those same lines, the final slide in that briefing, I put up the supercell composite parameter, which is basically just an estimate of how much supercell activity could occur. And that's valid at 3 a.m. tonight. And that's showing a bullseye right over southern Illinois. But our whole area basically is encompassed in high values. So supercells are a definite concern tonight. The parameters we're looking at, like Rick said, resemble some of the higher end outbreaks that we've had in the past. And again, the fact that it's during the overnight hours is another potential problem, given that people are often not aware at that time of the day. And another thing to note is that some of these parameters peak right around 6 a.m. So this may tend to linger on into the early morning hours tomorrow after daybreak, but it should wind down fairly quickly after that. But this may go right up through sunrise and maybe a little bit after, which is very unusual for our area. But looking at the model, all the model indications are that it could still be in full swing at sunrise tomorrow.